and thanks for watching. This is Linda Bartolucci, owner of InkStampandScrap.com, and you're watching week 1 of Tools and Techniques. Today we're going to talk about sponge daubers. Sponge daubers are a great little tool that you can use to highlight, to color in, and to even do a technique called burnishing. And the way you use them is you ink them up and then you just stick them on your finger and go for it. So let me show you a couple cards that I've made using daubers. This one uses the coloring technique as well as the highlighting technique, and then this one uses the burnishing technique. I'm going to construct this whole card for you so you can see how to do the burnishing technique, and then I'll show you highlighting and coloring. So for this card we're going to use a half a sheet of Daffodil Delight cardstock, some dimensionals, and I've already pre-stamped my flowers in order to burnish them. The reason I pre-stamped them is because you need to make sure before you burnish your ink is very dry. I used Stays-On ink, so it only had to set up for a few minutes, but again you want to make sure it's very dry so you don't have to worry about smudging your outline color at all. Now, to do your burnishing, you're going to use a different dauber for each of the colors that you decide to use. So the first thing I'm going to do is color in the center of each of my flowers. This is burnishing. You put the dauber on your finger, rub it in the ink pad, and then rub it on the cardstock. And this is why your ink needs to be really dry, because if the black ink was not dry, I would have a mess right now. You can use burnishing to color and then punch, as I'm going to do now, or you can use it to color in completely and not even bother punching. So now I'm going to use Regal Rose to color one of my 5 petal flowers as well as one of the flowers on the outline strip. Now when you burnish, you'll notice that as you go around you lose ink. It's a lot darker here than it is as I go around. So the way to solve that is you go back to the ink pad and you go the other way. And you might even need to do it 2 or 3 times depending on how dark you'd like the color to get. I'm pretty happy with that right now. So now I'm going to do my bottom flower here. And I want to make sure the flower stands out really, really well. So I'm going to get that really good. And then I'm just going to kind of lightly go around the edge because I want the whole white cardstock covered up. And you are going to need scratch paper because you can see it does get a little bit messy. Now I'm going to use my Tango Tangerine. I'm going to do my other 5 petal flower as well as the top flower on my border. Again, I'm just going to go around, and I'm not pushing too hard because I've inked up my dauber really, really well. And I'm just going to go around a second time just to make sure the color is really even, and I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to burnish this one by rubbing really well in the center to get a nice dark color, and then rubbing really lightly on the outside just to get a little bit of highlight. For my last color, I'm going to use Melon Mambo, and that is going to be for my scallop flower along with the center flower on my border. I think you're getting the idea now. It's pretty easy, it's pretty fun, and it looks really cool. First thing I'm going to do is take my scallop punch, and I'm going to punch out my Melon Mambo. Flower here. That looks good. And there we go. Then I'm going to take my 5 petal flower and I'm going to punch out my first 5 petal flower. And then I'm going to punch out the second one. Lining it up. And there we go. Now I'm ready to assemble. I already took care of punching out with my scallop border punch the little border that's going to highlight this. And now to finish it off with gluing it all together. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue my border on here. And I want to make sure that I don't have, that it is even, sorry. It's very even. And there we go. And then I'm going to add that to my card, centering it. There we go. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to add the 3 flowers. When I put dimensionals on, I like to use the three on a larger embellishment, kind of like the legs of a bar stool, because then you know it's going to stay on and it's going to be balanced. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. A little pile of backings. This is going to be the top card, or the top flower, it's the center one, so I'm actually going to do that last. And I'm going to do the 2 5-flower ones first. I'm going to do them in the opposite order that I did, just to add a little contrast. So I'm going to take the Regal Rose one and put it at the top. I'm going to take the Tangerine Tango one and put it towards the bottom. And then the center is going to be Melon Mambo. And that is burnishing. You can see it makes a beautiful card, and how wonderful would it be to get that for any occasion. Now let me show you what else you can do with these great daubers. This card used coloring in as well as highlighting, so I'm going to show you how I did that. I've already, as I did with the flowers, pre-stamped from Studio Sketches the picture and the pears. I have a dauber. You can see this is the one I used in my Pear Pizzazz ink. And now what I'm going to do is just like I did for burnishing, I'm going to ink it up. But this time I'm going to just gently tap to color in. Again, it's not a perfect coloring in tool, but you don't want that. This is just to give you kind of a smudgy accent. So now my pears are colored in, and if I want to accent the entire piece, what I can do is, just like you use one of the large Stampin' Sponges, you can use a dauber to go around the edge and give the focal point of your card or your scrapbook page or your project that you're giving to somebody a nice highlight. And there we have, with Studio Sketches, the pears are colored in and the edge is all highlighted with our handy little dauber. Hope you've enjoyed today. Don't forget to check out inkstampandscrap.com.